In Morgan Russell's book, The Psychology of Finance, we understand a very important concept when it comes to money and personal finance. Imagine if a survey were conducted asking people if they wanted to have $1 million in their account today. Surely most would answer yes, of course. However, what the author says makes a lot of sense. People say they want to be millionaires simply because they want to spend a million rees, imagining everything they can do with all that money and not necessarily have a million to manage because spending a million is literally the opposite of having a million. It may have seemed a little confusing at the beginning, but throughout this video, you will understand this fundamental idea that the author wanted to convey in relation to financial education. Let's take it slowly. Welcome to Mr. Finance. Before anything else, please leave a like and subscribe because today's content is all about that. If you're still watching this video, it's because you're interested in helping you manage your own money better. Let's start from the bottom, step by step, through what I call the phases of personal finance. Phase 1, earn and use money the right way. Before learning how to use money, we need to earn it first. So if today you have no source of income or only one source of income, it is extremely important to expand that and earn money from multiple places. It's like the old story of the table with one leg versus the table with four legs. If you depend on only one source of income and lose it, you become like a table with one leg removed. It can no longer stand. But if you have four different sources of income, even if one fails, the table still stands, even if a bit shaky. That's the point. The more income sources you have, the better. But how do you do that? At the beginning, when you have no money to invest or projects to create, there's not much choice. You need to exchange time for money, meaning work for someone or work as a freelancer. Any service that requires your presence and your mental or physical effort is called active income. However, when we start earning some money from our work, we can look for passive income, which means increasing our income through investments, businesses, or projects. Passive income is money you receive without actively working every day. Even so, passive income is not simple. Every passive income stream was built through work at some point in life. For example, if you work Monday to Friday and receive a salary, that is active income. But if you also earn money from investments you made, that becomes passive income. In my case, I created passive income from an old YouTube channel because one video I uploaded in 2019 still generates around $120 per month today. I only needed to make the video once. Now you understand the difference between active and passive income. From the moment you begin earning money, whether active or passive, you need to think carefully about how to use it. Knowing how to use money may be even more important than earning it. Money equals time. Every amount of money you earn required your time at some point in your life. Maybe you slept less to go to work early, stopped seeing friends to study, or gave up leisure time to make extra money. So when you work hard to earn money and then spend it on unnecessary things, you are literally throwing your time away. To improve financially, we need to stop thinking only about the short term and start thinking long term. If we constantly seek instant gratification, such as spending all our salary every weekend, we get trapped in an endless cycle. Many people also misuse credit cards by spending beyond what they can afford, creating debts that delay their financial growth even more. The idea here is simple. Never spend everything you earn. Instead of chasing immediate pleasure, use part of your money in ways that will bring much bigger rewards in the future. What if I told you that the difference between staying in debt and building true financial freedom isn't how much you earn, but how you manage your money? Right now, you have access to the complete system, the ebook, Getting Out of Debt Towards Financial Freedom, plus an exclusive step-by-step guide to creating your own financial spreadsheet from scratch. This isn't theory. It's a practical roadmap to organize your life, eliminate debt, and start multiplying your money with clarity. And here's the opportunity. You can get everything today with a 60% discount. If you truly want to change your financial reality, this is your moment. Link in the description and pinned comment. And so we move on to phase two, maximizing earning potential and building an emergency fund. Understanding this simple concept can already change many things in your financial life. I say this from personal experience. Don't think only like a consumer. Think like a producer as well. It may sound strange at first, but the main idea is that most of the time, when we receive money, we immediately think about consuming products or services. We rarely think about producing with that money. Instead, we think about spending it. And what does producing mean? It means using money to invest in yourself, whether by learning a new language that will improve your qualifications, investing in professional skills, starting a personal project that never left the drawing board, building a business, studying for exams, or investing toward financial independence. These are just a few examples, and you can adapt them to your own life. The key idea is not to use money only for expenses, but as a resource that can help you grow professionally and financially. That is the difference between having a producer mindset and a consumer mindset. A consumer with $1,000 in hand immediately thinks about what to buy: clothes, accessories, entertainment, and other expenses. A producer, on the other hand, thinks about how to use that money in the best possible way to generate returns. In the case of this channel, for example, I'm always buying courses and studying financial education so I can improve the videos and increase the results. The main idea is not only to have income sources, but also to constantly increase your earning potential, whether by investing money or time. This could mean studying for a new business project, preparing for an exam, or learning any skill that can increase your income. The more you earn, the more you can save and invest. So the main idea is that besides having our sources of income, we should always seek to increase our earning potential, whether by investing money or investing time as well. This can mean studying a new business project, preparing for public exams, or learning anything that increases our ability to earn more. By doing this, we will be able to make more money and consequently save more money to invest. Another important point is that we do not need to live counting every penny just to save money. What we really need is to make conscious choices. Of course, we can go out on weekends, for example, but it is important to understand our real financial situation at the moment and think about whether it would be more advantageous to use that money on something that could bring greater returns in the future. It is always good to reflect before spending money on unnecessary things. However, we also should not deprive ourselves of everything. Everything in life is about balance. Once you start earning money and develop the mindset of not spending everything you make, you can begin setting aside a portion to build your emergency fund. This money will be essential for achieving a certain level of financial peace and avoiding unnecessary struggles in difficult times. Many people neglect the emergency fund, but it is extremely important for anyone's financial life. It is generally recommended that you save the equivalent of 6 months of your monthly living expenses. In other words, if you spend $3,000 per month, you should aim to have $18,000 invested in your emergency reserve so you can maintain financial balance and security. However, we also should not deprive ourselves of everything. Everything in life is about balance. Once you start earning money and develop the mindset of not spending everything you make, you can begin setting aside a portion to build your emergency fund. This money will be essential for achieving a certain level of financial peace and avoiding unnecessary struggles in difficult times. Many people neglect the emergency fund, but it is extremely important for anyone's financial life. This is the measure of wealth often mentioned in personal finance books. In this case, wealth is measured according to your net worth, which means how much money you have after subtracting your debts. If you depend only on your salary and your lifestyle costs around $3,000 per month, and you have $9,000 saved, then if you lose your job, you would have about 3 months to live using that money until you find another source of income. Now imagine someone who has 1 million invested, generating 1% per month, and who maintains a lifestyle that costs around 10,000 raised monthly. This person has achieved the famous financial independence, where they no longer need to work because their money is working for them month after month. Of course, this only works if the person maintains a lifestyle that matches this income level. If they start withdrawing too much money from the investments and spending 50,000 or 100,000 Rs per month, for example, they will gradually become poorer. That is the difference between having 1 million Rs to invest and having 1 million Rs simply to spend. And of course, it is not enough just to write everything down. You must stay consistent by continuing to work, increasing your sources of income, improving your earning capacity, and investing every single month. And if you've stayed until the end, comment towards 1,000 subscribers. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to change the way you handle money in practice and learn the best method for financial freedom, the link to the ebook plus financial spreadsheet creation guide is in the description with a 60% discount for a limited time. I'll leave it here and see you next time.